welcome to another episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Make sure you guys follow us on our social media. We're on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast, also on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. And you can follow us on the Facebook page, and you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm your boy, Trey Fraser. I got my brother, Maestro Styles, here with me.
Yes, sir.
And we got a special guest in the building once again. We got the homie Tyler Butler from Sports and Culture Media. Tyler, what's good, man?
Hey, man, chilling. Thank y'all for having me on again. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. First off, I want to congratulate you because I see you got media passes to the NCAA tournament, and I see you out there working, man. So,
yes,
definitely appreciative of you, getting out there and, doing that work.
Yeah, nah, man. Hey, that's just a testament for my team. I wouldn't be able to get approved if it weren't for them. So I got to thank them first.
Yeah, I appreciate you for having the time, man. Because I seen all the passes myself. I said, "Oh, he busy right now."
Hey, just trying to make it happen, man.
Yes, sir. You doing that shit? You ain't trying. You doing that shit?
yeah, for real. For real,
yeah.
On the sideline and everything, man. So I want to start here because the last time we had you on, probably around this time last year, we talked about Deshaun Watson, and you were privy to a lot of information, a lot more than us average people here. And so, fast forward a year later, and he was tried by a grand jury. The grand jury decided not to indict him. A second grand jury appeared to try to indict him as well, and that didn't go through as well. Obviously, he gets traded to the Cleveland Browns. He signs this ridiculous contract, historic contract, might I add. So from your perspective, looking back 1 year ago to now with the Deshaun Watson thing, what are your thoughts about everything and how everything transpired?
I'm gonna be honest. I did not see a fully guaranteed contract coming out of this, and I sure as hell did not see the Cleveland Browns being his preferred destination. It seemed like everything was going to point to either Atlanta or I knew Carolina was kind of out the window, but I thought New Orleans was a real good destination. I'm surprised everything has been dropped. I'm sure there's still some more silver suits to follow up, but I just didn't see that Cleveland would be the team that would be the end of his destination. That shocked me completely.
Yeah. So how you feel about it? Is it a good fit, bad fit?
I mean, it's a good fit. The Browns was technically just missing a marquee quarterback. Baker was never consistent throughout the entire season. The defense is there. They have the running game. Wide receiver core is going to be a little different now. They let go of Juice, but Juice could come back, and they still got him from the Dallas Cowboys. So it's a tough division, though. I think Pittsburgh is going to be a step down, but you still have Baltimore, and then you have the team that went to the Super Bowl in Cincinnati. So it's going to be tough to win that division.
And I think what's most important there is that they didn't have to give up guys like Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt. They didn't have to give up any of their core players that make that team. So the fact that you added a Pro Bowl quarterback, one that's considered by most people top 5, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to boil down to what can Kevin Stefanski do with the offense. I know he's they're not going to call him the offensive coordinator, but he has a lot of hands-on with that offense over there in Cleveland. So it's just going to be how fast can catch up. He had a year off. What is his stamina going to be looking like? It's one thing that practice and work out on your own. It's completely different when you get out on that field. So having a year off, and we don't know what is going to be the ruling with the NFL, because they could still levy a suspension for Deshaun.
Right.
And who knows how long he will be out with that. So it's a fascinating situation, and I expect Baker to be there until after the draft too.
Can't they also put
I-
him on the exempt list also?
I believe they can. I haven't got the details of it yet, but I believe they can. But I don't want to say 100%, but I'm gonna say at least 85% that a suspension is coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So with the Baker Mayfield thing, I read earlier today that it seems like they're going to try to hold on to him, which is, I guess, that would obviously make him the backup if they keep him, throughout up until week 1. I guess my real question is, now we're talking about a lot of money in the quarterback room. Do you feel like Deshaun Watson was in any way, shape, form, or fashion overpaid?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think he's a top 5 quarterback.
Sure, and let me just say this, get your money, black man. I'm just talking about in the scheme of economics. In the scheme of economics.
Let me take the headphones off.
Right.
In
the scheme of economics, how you feel? Is it overpaid, underpaid, just right?
Nah, man. If you're getting a top 5 quarterback, $230 million, it's justified. He's definitely top 5 without question.
Yeah, no argument there. No argument there. But I mean, officially the highest paid.
Yeah.
Year off.
Well, think about it. If you are a franchise like the Cleveland Browns and you feel like you're one piece away from being a Super Bowl contender, and their one piece was the quarterback, if opportunity, no matter the price, to go get one of the best in the game, that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
and I want to reiterate, they gave up not much.
Yeah, they didn't lose anything.
They didn't lose anything. They gave up a boat of draft picks, but that's kind of what the Rams did a year ago. So it's like, okay.
Yeah, you took it from me right there. I was going to say, like, this is kind of this is Super Bowl or bust at this point because you mortgage your future.
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know how the NFL is, man. It's a copycat league. They saw what Tampa Bay did the year before. They saw what the Rams did last year. So now you're getting teams that the draft really doesn't matter. It's all about free agencies and trades and putting the best team together through that and see if you can buy yourself a Super Bowl. And I think that's what the Browns feel like they're doing here, buy themselves a Super Bowl. But I'm telling you, man, the AFC is rough.
Man. Everybody's arming up and strapping up, man.
Oh yeah. Everybody's loaded over there.
Yeah, it seems almost certain that there's going to be an AFC Super Bowl champion. It's kind of in the books for me.
Yeah, well, whoever is going to be healthy at the end of the season, because they're going to be.
I was going to say, I kind of disagree. I'm not going to count out the NFC side just yet. I mean, there's still Tom Brady there. He came back, and Aaron Rodgers is still there. We'll see what the Cowboys do, Tyler. We'll see what they do. But, I mean, there's only a couple teams on the other side that got a legit shot at winning the Super Bowl. But you're right.
You believe the Packers for real now?
Who, me?
Like, are we? Yeah, I mean, well, let me just say this. I'm kind of off the. Sure, they're a contender.
I'm not picking them to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I'm not picking them, let alone winning it. I'm not picking them. Winning, I'm not picking.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm not picking them, but you still got the Rams, the defending champs out there. Let's see what San Francisco does if they ever get Trey Lance, to start and get Jimmy Garoppolo off the team. Like I said before, you still got the Cowboys there. And Tom Brady's back in Tampa, and Leonard Fournette re-up with them. I think that's huge for the Bucs.
Oh yeah,
I hear you.
If Tom Brady were to stay retired, I would like the Cowboy chances a little better. They wouldn't go into the Super Bowl regardless, but at least to be competitive in the NFC. Dallas has got progressive worse.
Yeah.
a lot of key players that keep
Mhm.
roles that they have yet to replace. They're planning on going through the draft, like always, and then they're going to pick up some scraps after training camp when teams do their first release, because that's just the Dallas way for some odd reason. They've gotten progressively worse. Dak Prescott did not flourish until that trade for Amari Cooper.
Right.
As route runners in the NFL, Dak has a tendency to hold on to the ball until somebody is. CD is not that type of receiver. Michael Gallup is not that type of receiver. And they also lost their other deep threat in Cedric Wilson. Like, Dallas has gotten worse on both sides of the ball, really.
I want to ask you, the Amari Cooper trade, and it's funny, we're just talking about the Browns. So my reaction to the trade was that it's time for CD Lamb to be the number one receiver in Dallas. What you think about that?
I mean, he doesn't have a choice now. I just don't think, from watching CD over the past few seasons, he's not a number one receiver. Only because he has a tendency to drop the ball in crucial situations, and you can't have that out of your number one receiver. And Amari gone, that's who was scaring the defense the most, was Cooper, with his ability to get open. Now CD is going to get all the double teams. It's going to be tough. See, he's in for a rude awakening. I can tell you that.
Yeah, a lot of people liken this situation to when Antonio Brown left Pittsburgh, and now they were expecting Juju a few years ago to be the guy. And when them double teams came to him, he didn't look the same, and he hasn't looked the same since. Are you excited at all about James Washington in Dallas?
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
I mean, no knock on him, but he's not a game changer receiver. They lost the best receiver and basically replaced them with a younger receiver with unsure hands. Like, it makes sense to me.
So wait, Maestro, you wanted him gone from Pittsburgh?
I just wasn't excited about it. I mean, he had been there for as long as Mason Rudolph's, about 4 years, and I mean, he says that they haven't given him a chance to flourish. I say maybe, but I mean, even when you're on the field, you don't flash. You just don't flash on the field. He had some moments. He definitely had moments. I'm not gonna act like he have no moments at all. But when you're talking about him being a number two, I mean, he didn't flash to me as a number two. So I mean, if CD Lamb is going to be the number one, I guess Gallup is number two. I guess it kind of puts him back at number three, but it's not like he doesn't flash for me.
Yeah, Dallas, man. Dallas lost Debt, which was their number one asset at receiver. And hurt every year. And even with Gallup might not even be ready to week 2 and 3.
Yeah.
When he's ready, who knows when he's going to be 100% coming back from that season-ending injury. So I don't know. I'm assuming they're going to draft another receiver. They may look at another flyer. Cole Beasley is still out there. Technically, we don't have a slot receiver at this time.
Yeah.
So many holes, man. I could go all show about like how disastrous I think this upcoming season is going to be.
Hey, one thing you got going for you is you in the NFC East, man. That's the one thing you got going for you.
That's the thing, but you know what? I'm telling everybody, watch Washington
Eagles,
because they got a game manager now. He's not the best, but he's not sorry. I don't know why Wentz get this knocked like he's trash. He's really not trash. Like, at one point, he was an MVP candidate in Philly. And with that defense that Washington has and just manages the game, you only have to win 9 games in the NFC East to be the champ. They could be contenders in that division.
I think the knock with Wentz is when you need him to show up, he don't show up.
Yeah.
And it happened last year. All they had to do was beat the Raiders and beat Jacksonville, and he couldn't do it.
And I say this, the Colts was definitely a better team last year than Washington is going to be this year on paper. If you can't get it done with that team, I can't see it being much better with the Commanders.
Yeah, it's that division though. It's one of the worst divisions in the NFL. They're gonna play Giants twice and Philly twice. Philly, they're not even sold on their quarterback, so I don't know what they're gonna do. And Dallas, man, Dallas will probably win by default, winning 10 games.
Yeah, I think so.
But they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I think I got Philly winning the East this
Philly.
year.
You've been saying that for the past 2 years. Like you've been trying to board the Philly.
I think Philly. They got something going, man. They got 3 first-round picks, and they could go any direction they want to go. They got the quarterback, in my opinion. I know some people don't like Jalen Hurts, but I personally like him. All you got to do is just build the team around him. I think he's got a pretty good guy in Devontae Smith. Give him a running back and build that defense up. I think the Eagles will be right back in playoff contention.
I agree.
We'll see.
They made it last year, but their organization got to show a little bit more faith in Jalen. And actually build around him. And they don't have the faith in him. They're not going to build around him, and he's going to be in the same situation he was last year, unfortunately.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I agree they definitely need to put a team around them 100%. But I still kind of feel like Dallas right now is gonna be the team to win the East. Nobody's done anything yet to make that shift for me.
Yeah, I think no question on paper, the Cowboys are the better team right now. There's no question about that. But how many times in the past have we seen the Cowboys always be the better team on paper, and then somehow, come December, they crumble and somebody else takes the East. We've seen that multiple times, and I don't see where that's going to stop.
Yeah, the talent is still there, and the Giants is just so far behind.
Yeah.
Pretty much pencil that in for 2 W's. But Dallas talent, but it's just okay. You lost Gregory, which was your second best pass rusher. To the edge, which they're talking about. Okay, now you're down a linebacker. How are you going to replace that? It's just so many holes for that team.
Yeah.
Personally, I think they need a cornerback. And I love him. But Dallas needs a number 1 corner.
Yeah, 100% they do. Number 1. Now I got Dallas fans that'll tell me. I got Dallas fans that'll tell me that Trayvon Diggs is going to be a shutdown corner, and mid-season, and I was just like, man, I don't see it. I get the interceptions, I get it, but the idea that they throw it to him that much is for me is like, nah, you can't be a shutdown corner if they don't even fear throwing it to you.
And they don't. They test him every single game, and probably about 80% of the time. They're 20% don't get a pick.
Yeah, no question. He's a ball hawk. No question.
He gambles too much. That's the short of it.
Right. I agree with that. So I got a name I'm gonna throw out there that I think each of our teams could use this guy, and that's Bobby Wagner, who was in the Ravens building just a couple of days ago, left the building, and I'm hoping somehow the Ravens can, sign him to a contract. But I think about Dallas, and I'm thinking, Bobby Wagner would fit on the Dallas Cowboys defense. What you think?
Oh, he would be perfect because they need that middle linebacker. Played before in Dan Quinn's system when he was with Seattle.
Right.
Thing is, they're saying he's asking for a 1-year, $11 million deal. Dallas is not going to do that. So honestly, I think they're already out of the Bobby Wagner sweepstakes, sadly. But his price is going to have to come down some for them to even take a look at it.
Is that's
too much for Dallas?
Yeah, Dallas cheap as hell.
Yeah.
They're looking for 1 year, 5, 6, 11. Steven ain't gonna do that.
Yeah,
they in the clearance section at Walmart, man.
Yeah,
look at all the free.
I get it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Just look at their entire free agents. Everybody in 1-year deals. Every single free agent.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know you. I know the conversation was Miles Jack a few weeks ago. I heard a lot of Cowboys fans high on Miles Jack coming to Dallas, but he came on to Pittsburgh, so I just want to throw that little stab in the.
I mean, I don't blame them.
They've
been lowballing free agents this entire offseason, and that's why they're not signing anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They're like, honestly, I think Dallas is kind of gave it up this year because they're ready to get rid of McCarthy. So they're doing just a running back. They're re-signing everybody, plugging holes with subpar talent. See what comes out of it. But I think McCarthy is gone after this, and they're not wasting money to help him.
So what I hear you saying is they setting McCarthy up to fail.
Oh, absolutely. They did the exact same thing to Wade Phillips when Jason Garrett was in waiting. Set him up to fail. And then they fired him, and you had the Jason Garrett 8-8 era for too many years. But I do think they're setting McCarthy up to get on up out of next year.
Is it Kellen Moore or Dan Quinn in your mind?
Dan Quinn would be the better coach.
Okay.
Has more command of the team. Kellen, the fact that Jerry was willing to let Kellen walk, but he just can't get a deal done. But he's sure no teams even talked to Dan Quinn. They let me know everything I needed to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's transition to the NBA for a minute. You're a Chicago Bulls fan. The Bulls finally got it right for this season. DeMar DeRozan was having an MVP type season. I think he's kind of fallen off a little bit because the Bulls have kind of been sliding down the standings the last couple of weeks. But you the resident Bull fan, bro. How you feeling about the team?
I'm satisfied, man. There's a lot of Bulls fans that are upset because they have been losing, but I just think they need to temper their expectations a little bit. Like the Bulls the last 3 years compared to this year, and if you told me they would have been a top 5 seed after last season, I would have laughed. It's just the thing is, a lot of those players on the teams, they don't have a winning mentality. Like Zach came from the Timberwolves, Vucevic from the Magic.
Yeah.
I love DeMar, but you saw what the Raptors would do each and every year. And everyone else is extremely young. I mean, Caruso has championship pedigree, but not as an impact player.
Right.
And same thing with Tristan Thompson. So I just think the winning mentality is not there for them yet. But I'm extremely satisfied with being in the 5th. I don't want them to fall to that play-in game. I think they're done.
I would say DeMar came from a lot better situations than those other guys did. I mean, those other guys weren't in the playoffs perennially the way DeMar DeRozan was with Toronto and for a couple of years in San Antonio with Pop.
No, absolutely. He came from a winning situation, but wouldn't necessarily call it winning basketball because
and me and Trey had this conversation about DeMar. Oh, we had it when he was in Toronto, like
he would fall apart in the playoffs.
And here he is being put right back into that same spot in the Chicago. So at this, like, did he learn something from coming from San Antonio going to Chicago? Is he going to all of a sudden be that guy in the playoffs? I hate to be the negative guy in that situation, but I don't think DeMar DeRozan is that kind of player. Great player, but I don't think he's that guy that's going to, when asses get tight, it's time for us to lock down. He gonna go in there and give you a 50-point game for the game. You know what I'm saying? When it's necessary. I don't think he's that dude that's gonna take over like that. So, he's kind of right back in that same situation in Toronto for real.
Yeah, and DeMar, man, I would say the only thing that's working for them is LeBron is in the West. That was kryptonite. And DeMar is so like infatuated with LeBron, his level of play would drop every time they would play the Cavs or the Heat, every single time.
Yeah.
He would be torching everybody else, but they play LeBron and he's out there dapping them up on the court before the game, during the game, playing against his hero, and his level of play would drop.
Yeah. I'll say this though. I'll say this about DeMar DeRozan. This year might be his best year in his entire career.
Oh, I mean, when
you look at the numbers and you look at the impact, the buzzer beaters throughout the year, this might be his best year regular season wise.
Sure.
What? Yeah, DeMar was coming in the season with a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Nobody really wanted him.
Mm-hmm.
And, once he signed with the Bulls, everyone was talking about how it was not going to work between him and Zach whatsoever.
Right.
So I think the chip was high, but now that things is dwindling down, there's a lot of expectations on Chicago, and it really rides on the shoulder of DeMar.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest with you. I think they got two guys that, can get you buckets, but what if Zach LaVine becomes that guy? What if DeMar is just the guy that'll get you through, the first three quarters, and then Zach LaVine is the guy that, steps up in the fourth?
I have no reason to believe that he's going to do that.
I just haven't seen it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hope that's the case. I've just never seen that out of Zach. I will say over the last 3 years of watching LaVine, he's grown exponentially. Like he's a completely different player. And before DeMar, that was our go-to player for a bucket or a moment. And now it's strictly give the ball to DeMar, get out the way.
Right.
But Zach, he's going to give you 25 a game. But he's never been in this playoff atmosphere. And it's a different beast. Different. And I'm curious to see how he's going to react.
Right. Who you think matches up better with the Bulls in the playoffs?
Well, I don't want no part of the Bucks whatsoever.
Yeah.
Philly would run into their own selves. Embiid is a beast, man. He's having an MVP type season. I do think they can with Philly. I think Miami would be a good matchup, but I don't think they would beat Miami in 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn, now that they don't have the big three, is up in the air. I don't think they would beat Boston, but I don't want no part of the Bucks whatsoever. I think they're over in 5 games. If that.
Yeah. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't believe the 76ers, so I think that's about the ceiling of, I guess the top 4 teams that Chicago could see. But if I'm in Chicago, I don't want to see Kevin Durant. I don't.
I don't. Not in the playoffs.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. Miami, Miami's doing their thing right now. I know a lot of people saying Boston is the best team in the East right now. I don't want no smoke with them. I think if anybody, and like you said, and I agree with you, the Bucks, you don't want it with the champs. Only team I could see y'all having a shot at in that top 4 is Philadelphia, and that's because I don't believe James Harden. I get Embiid is there. But that's why I would give you a shot, because I feel like they would, kind of run the ball through Harden a lot, particularly in the fourth quarter when it counts. And if you're giving me DeMar DeRozan versus James Harden, I give DeRozan a shot against James Harden because I don't believe James Harden in the playoffs. But yeah, that's gonna be tough for Chicago this year.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough out. They had a setup when it was a higher seed, but now that they're dropping, it's extremely tough on them. But if they continue, they only really 1 game out of the play-in game. If they make it to that play-in, I don't think they would win it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I think that they
Mm-hmm.
could win the second playing game. Like let's say y'all dropped the 7 and y'all had to face the Nets and the Nets beat y'all. I think you guys could fare well against the likes of Charlotte, Atlanta, Cleveland, whoever's in that, bottom 8, 9, 10 seed. I think y'all got a good shot of making a play. I don't see y'all missing the playoffs, even if y'all drop into that
Yeah,
play-in
I agree that they make the
situation.
playoffs. I agree they
Yeah.
make the
Okay.
playoffs. I agree they make the playoffs. But if you're talking about that playing game, Lou, because then the 4 that are in the play-in is Charlotte, Atlanta, Cleveland, and Brooklyn. I
Mhm.
mean, let's be clear. I think we all agree Brooklyn would probably get the 7.
Yep.
But then you guys see Trey.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and
You might have to see
Atlanta then
Trey.
gave us the business twice.
Yeah, you might got to see Trey when it count. And I'm just saying Trey is Trey. I'm just saying Trey is Trey.
And if that game is in Atlanta, that's even tougher.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
But I do got Chicago. But I do got Chicago making it though. I don't got them falling down to the play-in.
yeah, I hope so, man. I
Yeah.
I really need to see the Bulls back in. United Center need that. Actually, we need to
Yeah.
get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think you're hoping for maybe a Bulls Cavs matchup, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Cause I think y'all smoked the Cavs for a play. I think y'all smoked the Cavs, but um, yeah,
all
that's
them games been so close this year though, with Chicago and
yeah,
Cleveland. Divisional
yeah.
games, but they've been extremely close. Atlanta done got us a couple times.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think
Mm-hmm.
y'all would beat Toronto too. I think that series is 7 games, but I think y'all could beat Toronto in 7 games.
I like their chances over the Raptors.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's Raptor team. But yeah, and like I say, Philly, for some reason don't really concern me because James disappears.
Mm-hmm.
He somehow catches an injury every single playoff series.
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn in 7 games. I don't want no part of Miami. It's something about Miami. It's a good matchup, but I just think
Yeah.
they'll lock in and cause Chicago a whole lot more problems than what we need.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think so too. That's
Yeah.
a good roster. Miami,
It
that's a good
is.
roster.
They deep.
It
Yeah,
is.
that's a good roster.
Hey
Just got to
Tyler.
keep Jimmy Head in.
Yeah, right. Right. I was just about to say they was on a 4-game losing streak and him and Udonis Haslam was about to get into it, and then Coach Bostra looked like he was wanting some smoke too.
Man, that was crazy. I don't even know what happened. I couldn't get no insight on it.
Mm.
Leaking anything, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Spoelstra walked out on to the court and was
On the
still
court, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
so. But that's Jimmy Butler, man. There's a reason why he'd been on so many teams in X amount of years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jimmy just wears
Yeah.
on you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it from
100%.
that aspect. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that did. Yeah, but he definitely brings some morale issues. But when he balling, he balling. So it's always that thing. There's always that thing. That boy ball.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he do.
Yeah, Miami's smart though. They're not gonna do nothing crazy like send them away or anything like
Nah,
that. Like they know what they're doing down there.
Pat Riley a mastermind. They'll get it all.
Mhm.
I'm sure UD cleared everything up that night.
Yeah.
Nobody's UD, so it's probably
Exactly.
Yeah.
moved over by now.
Exactly. Hey Tyler, let everybody know where they can find you at on social media and what do you got coming up?
Yeah, follow us on Facebook, Sports and Culture Sports Media, Twitter at My Sports Culture, Instagram, same thing, Sports and Culture. It's summertime, so we're going to be getting out here, getting after AAU teams, talking to and continuing to try to build girls basketball and girls sports in general. Right now, I'm doing a whole lot of what's called player spotlight interviews and our women in sports, where we're just talking to different people here in the upstate, people involved in sports and doing like 15-minute interviews. Our last one was with Bryce McGoins McGowan's is about to go to the NBA draft from Nebraska. Talked to his mom and his little sister out of Ren, and that was a real good one. So that's what I'm doing now, just trying to uplift the upstate, man, and put us on the map.
That's what's up.
No doubt, man. Hey, thanks again, man, and congrats again on your success, bro.
Thank you.
Yes,
man.
sir.
Thank you.
Yep, no doubt.
Love this show.
No doubt. Appreciate it.